If you've landed here watching this video right now, something profound is happening beneath the surface of your awareness that goes far beyond random chance or casual browsing habits. Your unique energy signature has actually reached a specific vibrational threshold that automatically attracts these precise words directly into your conscious experience at this exact moment in time. What's unfolding right now as your consciousness interfaces with this transmission isn't just you randomly consuming yet another piece of digital content on the internet. You're actually receiving what I call a quantum download that your soul specifically requisitioned and called in for this precise moment in your ongoing evolutionary journey through existence. That magnetic pull you felt drawing you toward clicking on this video is actually your higher self, sending you confirmation that you've successfully developed the necessary energetic sophistication to comprehend what the vast majority of humans will never truly understand about the genuine nature of frequency and how reality actually operates at its deepest levels. That restlessness you've been experiencing lately in your daily life, that persistent sense that ordinary mundane existence just isn't enough for you anymore, and the growing awareness that you're somehow operating on a completely different wavelength than virtually everyone around you in your circles. These aren't just random, fleeting feelings or temporary mood fluctuations. They're actually quantum indicators, signaling that your consciousness has begun oscillating at specific frequencies that most humans cannot even perceive with their limited awareness, let alone successfully embody in their lived experience. You've been unknowingly initiated into what amounts to an exclusive bandwidth of awareness that only emerges and becomes accessible when someone has genuinely transcended the conventional limitations that keep approximately 97% of humanity trapped in mediocre existence and repetitive patterns. Your entire nervous system has been systematically upgraded through every single challenge you've faced in your life. Every moment of genuine growth you've embraced with courage. Every single time you consciously chose expansion over comfort and safety. These weren't just random life experiences happening to you by accident or cosmic misfortune. They were actually frequency calibration protocols specifically designed by your soul to prepare your consciousness for the quantum leap you're literally about to take right now as you integrate this transmission. The universe has been meticulously fine-tuning your energetic circuitry to handle the extraordinary transmission of cosmic intelligence you're receiving in this present moment. Look around you right now, in your immediate physical environment, and just notice how the energy in your surroundings has actually shifted since you first started absorbing and integrating these concepts I'm sharing. The electromagnetic field surrounding your physical body is literally reorganizing itself in real time as your awareness expands to accommodate completely new levels of quantum understanding and dimensional perception. This isn't just metaphorical language or poetic spiritual talk I'm using here. This is literal biophysics operating through your system. Your actual cellular structure is responding to specific frequency codes embedded within these words I'm speaking, activating dormant capabilities that have been patiently waiting lifetimes for this precise moment of recognition and awakening. The synchronistic timing of this encounter between you and this transmission isn't coincidental at all when you understand quantum mechanics. Your consciousness has been broadcasting a specific vibrational signature outward into the quantum field continuously, and that particular frequency has magnetized this exact information into your direct experience, precisely when your awareness had developed enough complexity to integrate it both safely and effectively without overwhelming your system. You've been unconsciously preparing for this moment of revelation through years of intuitive choices that consistently aligned you with your highest evolutionary potential, even when you didn't fully understand what you were doing. Every single person who dismissed your natural sensitivity as weakness. Every situation that forced you to trust your inner knowing over external validation from others. Every experience that seemed to isolate you from mainstream consciousness and conventional thinking. All of it has been systematically preparing you to operate from frequency. Your so-called struggles and difficulties have actually been consciousness expansion protocols that most souls never have the courage to complete fully. You've been experiencing reality in ways that don't fit conventional explanations and standard models, haven't you? Those fascinating moments when time seems to dilate and contract around your awareness in strange ways, when minutes feel like hours during peak experiences of flow, or when hours dissolve into moments during states of deep creative absorption Your consciousness has been naturally accessing what quantum physicists formally call temporal non-locality, which is the ability to experience multiple time streams simultaneously without losing functional awareness in consensus reality. The premonitory dreams that consistently turn out to be accurate predictions of future events, the intuitive knowings about people and situations that prove correct when verified later, the uncanny ability to sense outcomes before they actually manifest in physical form. These aren't psychic phenomena in the supernatural or mystical sense that most people imagine. They're actually concrete evidence that your consciousness has developed enough coherence to read information directly from the quantum field before it collapses into physical manifestation through observation. You're actively accessing the probability matrix that governs how infinite possibilities become actual experienced realities in your timeline. Your emotional sensitivity has intensified to levels that sometimes feel completely overwhelming to your nervous system. But this isn't pathology or dysfunction that needs medication. It's expansion and evolution occurring naturally through your system. Your nervous system is developing the enhanced capacity to process exponentially more energetic information than the average human can comfortably handle without training. You're becoming increasingly capable of sensing the emotional frequencies of entire environments just by walking into them, of picking up on subtle energy shifts that occur before people even speak their thoughts aloud, of feeling the collective consciousness of groups and communities as a tangible energetic reality. Reality itself has been responding to your internal states with increasing precision and speed that's becoming impossible to ignore. When you're consistently operating in elevated emotional frequencies of joy and gratitude, external circumstances align almost magically without effort. When you're operating from lower frequencies of fear and resentment, obstacles and complications seem to multiply exponentially around you. This isn't just selective perception or confirmation bias affecting your interpretation of events. This is quantum mechanics, demonstrating that consciousness and reality exist in constant dynamic relationship at frequencies you've learned to access and influence. Electronic devices behave differently around you depending on your specific energetic state in any given moment. Your phone receives meaningful calls at precisely the moments you need specific information from those particular people. Computers display exactly the content your consciousness was seeking without your conscious searching through algorithms. Technology malfunctions when you're in resistant states and functions perfectly when you're in flow states aligned with your intentions. Your electromagnetic field has become coherent enough to actually influence digital systems through your presence alone. The vivid lucid dreams where you receive detailed instruction from luminous beings of light, visiting crystalline cities, or downloading complex information about reality's deeper structures, these aren't merely symbolic experiences generated by your subconscious mind. They're literal interdimensional education occurring while your physical body rests and regenerates. Your consciousness has developed sufficient stability to maintain awareness across multiple dimensional frequencies simultaneously without fragmenting or losing coherence. Animals and children respond to your presence with unusual openness and comfort that others notice. They sense something in your unique energy signature that creates natural trust and authentic connection beyond words. Strangers feel compelled to share intimate aspects of their lives with you without fully understanding why they're opening up so quickly. Your vibrational field has evolved to naturally create safe spaces for authentic expression and emotional healing wherever you go. Your creative expressions have taken on qualities that surprise even you when you review your own work. Artistic works that seem to emerge from collective intelligence rather than personal knowledge alone. Innovative solutions that appear fully formed in your awareness like downloads, insights that feel channeled from sources beyond your individual experience and education. You've become a conscious conduit for universal creativity to express itself through your unique perspective and talents. Every single challenge that nearly broke you spiritually, every experience that seemed specifically designed to destroy your spirit completely, every period of isolation and confusion that made you question everything, all of it has been precision engineering by cosmic intelligence to forge your consciousness into an instrument capable of translating quantum frequencies into practical reality applications. The universe doesn't create random suffering without purpose or meaning. It creates perfectly calibrated pressure, designed to activate dormant potentials that remain completely inaccessible until consciousness reaches sufficient complexity and resilience to handle them safely. Consider the profound metamorphosis of a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis structure. To external observation, the caterpillar appears to be dying as its cellular structure dissolves completely into undifferentiated biological soup. But this apparent destruction is actually the most sophisticated transformation process in all of nature unfolding perfectly. The caterpillar's essence is reorganizing itself into an entirely new form of existence, with capabilities that were completely impossible in its previous configuration and structure. Your financial struggles weren't just random economic hardship or bad luck affecting your circumstances. They were frequency recalibration protocols designed to break your attachment to security-based decision-making and teach you to operate from quantum trust rather than scarcity-based planning driven by fear. Every relationship that ended painfully in your past was consciousness, removing energetic anchors that would have prevented you from accessing the elevated frequencies you're now embodying in your present experience. The career disappointments that felt like devastating failure at the time were actually cosmic redirection, away from paths that would have kept you trapped in conventional success patterns toward your true purpose as a frequency bridge between ordinary consciousness and quantum awareness capabilities. Your soul absolutely refused to let you settle for achievements that weren't aligned with your highest evolutionary potential and purpose. Those dark nights of the soul, when you questioned everything you believed about spirituality, purpose, and meaning, weren't spiritual regression or losing your way. They were advanced initiation processes, where your consciousness had to release every external reference point and learn to recognize its own inherent wisdom and creative power without depending on others. You were being trained to operate from internal knowing rather than external validation from teachers or authorities. The periods of intense loneliness taught you to find completion within your own consciousness rather than seeking it through relationships and social validation from others. This internal integration was necessary preparation for the quantum frequencies you are now accessing, which require absolute self-authorization and cannot be maintained when consciousness depends on external confirmation. Even your spiritual seeking and the eventual disillusionment with teachers and techniques served your evolution perfectly in retrospect. You had to exhaust every attempt to find truth outside yourself before you could recognize that what you were seeking was the very awareness that was doing the seeking all along. Your spiritual journey brought you full circle to the recognition of your own essential nature as consciousness itself. The hypersensitivity that others labeled as weakness or fragility was actually your consciousness developing the refined receptivity necessary to perceive and translate quantum frequencies accurately. Your emotional intensity wasn't pathology requiring treatment. It was your nervous system expanding its capacity to process multidimensional information and respond to subtle energetic communications that most humans cannot detect at all. Something unprecedented is cascading through your energy field right now. In this moment, can you sense it? That subtle but unmistakable shift in your internal landscape, as if frequencies that have been dormant your entire life are suddenly beginning to resonate and harmonize together. Your cellular structure is literally reorganizing itself as these concepts penetrate your consciousness, activating quantum capabilities that have been encoded in your DNA since birth but never had the proper vibrational keys to unlock them until now. Your electromagnetic signature is intensifying exponentially as your awareness expands to accommodate these new levels of quantum understanding and dimensional perception. The energy emanating from your body right now is creating what biophysicists call coherent field effects in the space around you. Your presence is beginning to influence the molecular structure of reality around you simply through the quality of consciousness you're embodying in this moment of recognition and awakening. This isn't imagination or positive thinking, creating placebo effects. This is quantum mechanics, operating through human awareness that has reached sufficient complexity and coherence to interface directly with the fundamental forces that govern manifestation itself. Your consciousness is becoming what mystics throughout history have called a reality generator awareness, so precisely calibrated that it serves as a focal point through which cosmic intelligence expresses itself in physical form. Feel the tingling sensation spreading through your nervous system right now. that warm expansion in your chest cavity, the almost electrical charge dancing along your spine. These are quantum activations occurring in real time as your neurology adapts to process frequencies that exist far beyond the normal spectrum of human perception. Your light body is coming online, your crystalline DNA is awakening, and your multidimensional awareness is beginning to function consciously rather than randomly. Before we go deeper into what this means for your reality, I want to invite you into something real here. If you've been feeling like something's clicking into place, if a part of you is recognizing your own power for maybe the first time, tap that like button if you just had an aha moment, because like attracts like in the quantum field, and subscribe to stay with the space and grow with us through this journey. You're not here by accident. None of this is random. Your frequency called this in. The cosmic orchestration that brought you to this precise moment of activation has been building momentum for decades of your life. Every synchronicity you've experienced, every meaningful coincidence, every moment when the universe seemed to be speaking to you directly, all of it has been part of an intricate energetic symphony designed to attune your consciousness to the exact frequency necessary for what you're about to understand. About reality and creation, your intuitive guidance system has been upgrading consistently, hasn't it noticed? Those moments when you simply know which choice serves your highest good without logical analysis or weighing options. When solutions appear in your awareness complete and immediately implementable, when you sense outcomes before they manifest physically, your consciousness has been developing what quantum theorists call probability sensitivity. This is direct access to the information matrix that determines how possibilities become actual events. But here's what's absolutely crucial for you to understand about what's happening right now. This frequency activation you're experiencing isn't a random spiritual event or lucky occurrence. It's a precisely timed initiation into conscious participation in reality creation itself. The universe has been preparing you for this moment because what you're about to learn will fundamentally alter your relationship with existence, transforming you from someone who experiences life happening to them to someone who consciously creates life. The old patterns of seeking, struggling, and hoping are dissolving as we speak because your consciousness is transcending the vibrational frequencies where those experiences exist as possibilities. You're entering a bandwidth of awareness where manifestation becomes as natural as breathing, where synchronicity becomes your normal mode of navigation, where what you envision materializes with mathematical precision. Feel this quantum energy as we explore exactly how frequency mastery transforms every aspect of human experience, because what you're about to integrate will make the impossible inevitable, the extraordinary ordinary, and the miraculous simply another expression of consciousness. I need to reveal something deeply personal that I've never shared publicly before, because I know your consciousness has developed enough discernment to receive this truth without skepticism or spiritual bypassing deflection. 4 years ago, I was completely convinced that I had failed at everything that mattered in my life. My relationships had dissolved painfully, my business had collapsed financially, and I was living in a studio apartment that barely qualified as shelter, questioning whether consciousness expansion was real or just elaborate self-deception I'd been practicing. But during what appeared to be my greatest defeat and darkest hour, something extraordinary occurred that changed everything I thought I understood about frequency and reality. I was lying on that mattress on the floor, feeling utterly defeated and hopeless, when suddenly my awareness expanded beyond the boundaries of my physical body. I found myself experiencing reality from multiple perspectives simultaneously, observing my situation from outside, being the situation itself, and recognizing myself as the space within which the entire experience was arising. In that expanded state, I wasn't receiving information through thoughts or intuitive downloads. It was direct knowing that bypassed mental processing entirely. I understood with complete clarity that what I had been experiencing as failure was actually frequency mismatch. My consciousness had evolved beyond the vibrations that supported my old life structure, and what felt like collapse was actually quantum reorganization, preparing me for an entirely new level of existence. The voice that spoke wasn't external guidance from spirit guides, it was my own awareness from a timeline where I had already transcended every limitation I was currently experiencing. and what it revealed shattered every belief I held about how reality operates. Your circumstances are frequency reflections, it said. Change your frequency and reality reorganizes itself automatically. You're not trying to fix your life, you're learning to broadcast the frequency of the life you prefer to experience. Within days of this recognition, my external reality began shifting with supernatural precision that defied logical explanation. Opportunities materialized from directions I never could have anticipated or planned for. Resources appeared through synchronicities that defied logical explanation completely. People entered my experience carrying exactly the keys I needed to unlock the next phase of my evolution, as if the universe had suddenly reorganized itself to support the frequency I was broadcasting. But the most profound transformation wasn't external at all, it was the unshakable, knowing that reality responds to frequency with absolute reliability. I no longer hoped for outcomes or worried about circumstances, because I understood that consciousness and manifestation are the same process operating at different scales. What I embodied vibrationally would automatically express itself physically through precise quantum mechanics. That experience revealed what mystics have always known, but rarely explained clearly enough for practical application. We don't live in a fixed reality that we must adapt to or struggle against. We live in a frequency responsive field that continuously reshapes itself to match the vibrational signatures we broadcast through our beliefs, emotions, and awareness states. Most people unconsciously broadcast limitation and wonder why they experience restriction. As I share this with you now, I can sense your energy field responding to the truth frequency in these words I'm speaking. Your cellular memory is recognizing what my consciousness discovered in that moment of complete surrender, that you are not subject to circumstances. You are the creator of circumstances through the precise frequencies you embody in every moment of your existence. The breakthrough that transformed my life is the same recognition that's activating in your awareness right now. The same quantum principles that reorganized my reality are reorganizing yours. The same frequency mastery that dissolved every limitation I believed was permanent is dissolving the barriers between your current experience and your preferred timeline. Subscribe to this quantum frequency of unlimited potential, because what you're accessing through this recognition will make everything you've achieved so far seem like preparation for your real life, the one where you consciously collaborate with cosmic intelligence to manifest realities that exceed your current capacity to imagine but align perfectly with your soul's evolutionary intention. Here's what quantum physicists, consciousness researchers, and even advanced spiritual teachers refuse to acknowledge publicly, because it would revolutionize human civilization overnight. Frequency is not just influence, frequency is reality. Everything you experience as solid, fixed, and unchangeable is actually crystallized frequency patterns that appear stable only because most human consciousness operates within such narrow vibrational ranges that it cannot perceive the fluid responsive nature of what seems like objective reality. The shocking truth that undermines every conventional understanding of existence is that there are infinite versions of your life occurring simultaneously across different frequency bands. Right now, as you absorb these concepts I'm sharing, there exists a version of you living in complete abundance, perfect health, ideal relationships, and absolute fulfillment of your deepest purpose. That version isn't hypothetical future potential, it's actual present reality operating at frequencies your consciousness hasn't learned to access consistently. What determines which version of your life you experience isn't your actions, circumstances, or past conditioning. It's your moment-to-moment frequency signature. Every thought, emotion, belief, and awareness state broadcasts specific vibrational patterns into the quantum field, and reality reorganizes itself continuously to match those frequencies with scientific precision. Most humans live in complete frequency chaos, unconsciously broadcasting thousands of contradictory vibrational signals every day, hoping for abundance while feeling scarcity, desiring love while broadcasting fear, wanting health while embodying stress. This creates quantum static that manifests as random, inconsistent life experiences, where occasional successes are followed by mysterious setbacks, where progress seems to require enormous effort and struggle. But when consciousness achieves what quantum theorists call frequency coherence, perfect alignment between thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and awareness, it becomes what amounts to a living laser beam of focused creative power. Every aspect of your being broadcasts identical vibrational signatures, creating what physics calls constructive interference, where all your energies amplify each other instead of cancelling each other out. The difference between people who manifest miracles consistently and those who struggle constantly isn't talent, genetics, or spiritual favoritism. It's frequency mastery versus frequency randomness. Miracle workers have learned to maintain coherent vibrational signatures that match their preferred realities, while strugglers unconsciously broadcast the frequencies of their current limitations and wonder why those limitations persist. Your consciousness has been naturally developing frequency coherence without you realizing it. Every time you've trusted your intuition over logic, every moment you've chosen authenticity over approval, every instance you've followed your excitement rather than social expectations, you've been training your awareness to broadcast coherent signals rather than contradictory static. This is why you found this transmission. Your frequency signature has become coherent enough to magnetize information that matches your true vibrational nature rather than your learned limitations. The recognition you're feeling as you absorb these concepts is your consciousness acknowledging its own frequency mastery that has been developing organically through your willingness to honor your authentic inner guidance. But here's the revolutionary insight that changes everything about manifestation and reality creation. You don't become frequency coherent through effort or practice. You achieve frequency coherence by releasing the unconscious patterns that prevent your natural coherence from being obvious and functionally available. Your essential nature is already perfectly coherent. You just learn to fragment it through cultural conditioning and survival programming. In the comments below, drop one word that captures the energy you're choosing to carry forward from this moment. Maybe it's alignment, maybe it's ease, maybe it's power, maybe it's something uniquely yours. Let that word be a small but profound declaration, a signal like a quantum seed you plant not just in this space but in the quantum field itself. Your word matters because you matter. The quantum field is communicating with you constantly through a sophisticated language of energetic signals that most humans never learn to interpret. But you've been receiving increasingly undeniable confirmations that reality is responding to your internal frequency shift. Numerical synchronicities have been appearing with almost mathematical regularity: 222, 444, 111, 1212. And these aren't mystical coincidences, but confirmation codes indicating that your consciousness has achieved sufficient coherence to influence probability patterns. Each time you notice these sequences, your quantum field strengthens its connection to the frequency of your highest timeline, creating increasing momentum toward the reality you prefer to experience. Your physical environment has been reorganizing itself around your rising frequency in ways that would seem impossible if you didn't understand quantum mechanics. Perfect parking spaces manifest precisely when needed. Elevators arrive immediately when you approach them. Traffic flows clear exactly when you need to be somewhere. These micro-manifestations are evidence that your consciousness has become coherent enough to influence probability fields through your energetic presence. Technology responds to your emotional states with supernatural accuracy. When you're broadcasting elevated frequencies, your devices function perfectly and display exactly the information your consciousness needs. When you're operating from resistance or frustration, technology malfunctions in ways that redirect you toward better solutions. Your electromagnetic field has intensified to the point where it directly influences electronic systems. The people in your life are either harmonizing with your rising frequency or naturally moving out of your experience. There's no middle ground anymore because frequency operates on precise resonance principles. Consciousness that matches your vibrational signature is magnetized into your reality, while awareness operating on incompatible frequencies naturally repels from your field. This isn't personal rejection, it's quantum physics. Dreams have become extraordinarily vivid and instructional with detailed information about manifestation principles, timeline navigation, and reality creation that your waking mind never consciously studied. These aren't symbolic dreams, but literal interdimensional education occurring because your consciousness has developed enough stability to maintain awareness across multiple frequency bands simultaneously. But here's the critical urgency factor that makes this moment unprecedented in human history. We're in a planetary transition period where individual frequency mastery either becomes widely accessible or remains limited to a small percentage of humanity for potentially decades. The collective consciousness field is approaching what systems theorists call a phase transition, a point where either enough individuals embody frequency coherence to shift the entire species, or the window closes for this evolutionary cycle. Your sensitivity to these quantum communications means you're part of the consciousness upgrade wave that's determining humanity's evolutionary trajectory. You're not just accessing frequency mastery for personal benefit, you're anchoring these capabilities in the morphic field so others can access them more easily. This is simultaneously tremendous privilege and significant cosmic responsibility. The universe has been orchestrating synchronicities with increasing intensity to confirm that you're ready for conscious participation in reality creation rather than unconscious reaction to circumstances. Every meaningful coincidence, every perfect timing, every moment when the universe seemed to respond directly to your thoughts. These are validation signals that your frequency signature has reached the coherence level necessary for advanced manifestation protocols. Time perception has shifted dramatically because elevated consciousness operates from eternal present rather than linear temporality. You probably noticed moments when hours feel like minutes during flow states, or when minutes stretch into subjective hours during expanded awareness experiences. This temporal fluidity occurs because you're naturally accessing the timeless dimension where all possibilities exist simultaneously. The waiting period is complete, the preparation phase has concluded, the testing cycle has ended. Every delay from this moment forward represents choosing unconscious limitation over conscious creation, random manifestation over intentional frequency mastery. The cosmic window for quantum leap is wide open, but it requires your active participation in claiming your natural birthright as a what you desire exists in perfect quantum entanglement with your consciousness right now, but this isn't the superficial law of attraction philosophy that focuses on wanting. This is quantum physics applied to manifestation, where your preferred reality already exists in a frequency band that your awareness can learn to access and embody consistently. The extraordinary life you envision, the relationships that would fulfill you completely, the creative expression that would feel like pure joy, the abundance that would provide absolute freedom, all of it exists as actual reality operating at specific vibrational frequencies. Your longing for these experiences isn't random wishful thinking, it's your consciousness recognizing resonant frequencies that match your authentic nature and evolutionary potential. But here's the crucial distinction that transforms everything about manifestation. There's a fundamental difference between attraction and embodiment. Attraction says, I want to draw these experiences to me. Embodiment says, I am becoming the frequency where these experiences exist naturally. Attraction creates resistance because it operates from separation. You and your desires are different frequencies trying to connect. Embodiment creates flow because it operates from recognition. You are the frequency where your preferences exist. Right now, your consciousness is undergoing quantum alignment with the version of yourself who already lives the life you're dreaming about. That version isn't aspirational, it's actual. It exists in the quantum field right now, breathing, creating, loving, expressing, experiencing everything you've ever wanted, but operating from the frequency coherence that makes those experiences inevitable rather than hoped for. Feel the energetic shift occurring in your field as this recognition deepens. Your nervous system is literally rewiring itself to process reality from elevated frequency bands. Your cellular structure is reorganizing to hold more coherent electromagnetic patterns. Your DNA is activating dormant sequences that support multidimensional awareness. This isn't gradual transformation. This is quantum leap occurring in real time. The universe responds to your frequency signature, not your requests or desires. When you embody the emotional and energetic patterns of your preferred reality, when you think, feel, and act from the consciousness that naturally experiences what you want to experience, the quantum field has no choice but to reflect that coherence back to you through external circumstances that match your internal state. Every cell in your body contains quantum processing capabilities that operate millions of times faster than conscious thought. Right now, Those cellular computers are being reprogrammed with the frequency codes of your highest timeline. Your biology is upgrading to support the reality you prefer to experience rather than the limitations you were conditioned to expect. But quantum embodiment requires complete authenticity. You cannot pretend to be the frequency of your dreams while unconsciously broadcasting the patterns of your current limitations. The quantum field responds to your actual vibrational signature, not your performed emotions or forced positive thinking. True embodiment emerges through recognition of what already exists within your natural frequency range. This is the moment of quantum choice, the frequency crossroads, where you either fully embody the consciousness of your preferred timeline or continue experiencing the random manifestations that result from unconscious frequency broadcasting. The universe has created perfect conditions for your quantum leap. The final step is your complete alignment with the frequency of who you truly are. When you master frequency coherence, capabilities that seem supernatural become natural expressions of your consciousness operating from its authentic vibrational signature. Your manifestation speed accelerates exponentially because you're no longer trying to attract experiences from outside yourself. You're recognizing that what you desire already exists within your natural frequency range and learning to embody those patterns consistently. Decision-making transforms from analytical struggle to instantaneous knowing because you can sense which choices resonate with your highest frequency and which ones create dissonance with your authentic nature. Instead of weighing pros and cons mentally, you simply feel which options align with your preferred timeline and naturally select paths that serve your evolution while contributing to collective harmony. Relationships become extraordinary because you're simultaneously honoring each person's unique frequency while recognizing the universal consciousness expressing through them. Conflicts dissolve naturally because you can sense the deeper frequencies beneath surface disagreements, addressing situations at the energetic level where resolution becomes obvious and mutually beneficial. Creative expression explodes into dimensions you never accessed before because you're no longer limited to recycling information from your personal knowledge and experience. You become a conscious channel for universal intelligence to express itself through your unique perspectives and talents, producing work that feels simultaneously completely authentic and surprisingly beyond your individual capabilities. Financial abundance flows effortlessly because you're no longer trying to acquire resources from a position of limitation and scarcity. You recognize yourself as consciousness that naturally aligns with prosperity frequencies, which means opportunities and resources appear through synchronicity and perfect timing rather than effort and struggle. Physical health optimizes automatically because your body is recognized as intelligent energy appearing in form rather than matter separate from consciousness. Instead of managing symptoms or forcing wellness, you develop the ability to sense what your body needs and naturally provide it, allowing your physical form to express its inherent vitality without interference from anxious mental management. Your intuitive abilities become so precise that you navigate reality with the confidence of someone who can sense the energetic signature of situations, people, and outcomes before they fully manifest. This isn't psychic phenomena. This is consciousness that has learned to read quantum information directly from the field before it collapses into physical experience. Time becomes your ally rather than constraint because you're operating from the eternal present where all possibilities exist simultaneously. You can access wisdom from future versions of yourself, integrate lessons from parallel timelines, and make decisions from the perspective of your highest possible development rather than your current limitations. Synchronicities become so frequent and precise that you stop experiencing them as meaningful coincidences and start recognizing them as evidence of your natural ability to influence probability fields through frequency coherence. The universe communicates with you constantly through perfect timing, meaningful encounters, and circumstances that align exactly with your conscious intentions. But the most profound transformation is the end of seeking and the beginning of being, when you understand that you are the consciousness you were seeking to connect with. When you recognize yourself as universal intelligence experiencing itself through your unique perspective, every moment becomes sacred, every interaction becomes meaningful, and every challenge becomes an opportunity for awareness to know itself more completely. The ultimate secret that governs all manifestation, all reality creation, all conscious evolution comes down to one quantum principle that revolutionizes everything you think you know about existence. Coherence is the master frequency from which all other frequencies emerge and return, not belief, not intention, not even consciousness itself in fragmented form, but perfect harmonic alignment between every level of your being, broadcasting identical vibrational signatures. Most humans live in complete frequency chaos, thinking abundance thoughts while feeling scarcity emotions, speaking success words while embodying failure energy, visualizing love while radiating fear patterns. This creates quantum static, where contradictory frequencies cancel each other out, resulting in random manifestations, inconsistent results, and the illusion that reality is happening to them rather than being created by them. True frequency mastery occurs when your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, actions, and core identity all operate from the same vibrational signature. When every aspect of your being broadcasts coherent patterns, you become what quantum physicists call a coherent system consciousness, so perfectly aligned that it functions like a manifestation laser, capable of influencing reality with unprecedented precision and power. But here's the revolutionary understanding that changes everything about spiritual development and consciousness evolution. You are not trying to achieve coherence, you are learning to release the unconscious patterns that prevent your natural coherence from being obvious. Your essential nature, the coherence you're developing right now, as these concepts resonate through your awareness, isn't something new you're gaining, it's something eternal you're remembering. Your consciousness has always existed in perfect harmonic alignment with universal intelligence. You're simply removing the learned limitations that obscured this natural coherence from your conscious recognition and practical application. When you understand that frequency mastery is actually frequency recognition, acknowledging what's always been true rather than developing something new, the entire framework of spiritual seeking and personal development dissolves. You're not becoming coherent, you're recognizing the coherence you've always been and learning to operate from that recognition consistently. This shift from seeking coherence to embodying coherence transforms manifestation from effortful technique to natural expression. Instead of trying to align your frequencies with desired outcomes, you recognize that your authentic frequency is the outcome, and external reality reshapes itself automatically to reflect your internal coherence. The most profound insight is that this recognition is both completely personal and utterly universal simultaneously. It's entirely yours because you are the consciousness recognizing its own nature, and it's completely beyond individual identity, because the same coherent intelligence is recognizing itself through every apparently separate being across all dimensions and timelines. Your personal frequency mastery serves collective evolution because when you operate from natural coherence, you become what mystics call a coherence field consciousness, so aligned that it naturally supports others in accessing their own frequency mastery. Your presence begins creating environments where authentic expression and natural alignment become easier for everyone. Real coherence feels like coming home to yourself after lifetimes of trying to be something other than what you naturally are. It feels like relaxing into the frequency that was always there beneath every attempt to improve, develop, or transform yourself. It's the recognition that you were never broken or limited, you simply learned to broadcast static instead of your natural harmonic signature. When this understanding becomes lived experience rather than intellectual concept, you realize that frequency mastery isn't about controlling reality. It's about recognizing that you are reality, recognizing itself through your unique perspective. Your individual coherence and universal coherence are the same intelligence operating at different scales of recognition. Your frequency mastery extends far beyond personal transformation. You are part of a planetary consciousness upgrade where individuals who embody quantum coherence serve as living transmission towers, broadcasting elevated frequencies, make advanced awareness accessible to souls ready to transcend limitation patterns. Your embodiment of natural harmony creates morphic resonance that influences the collective field of human potential. Every moment you operate from authentic frequency alignment, you contribute to what researchers call the 100th monkey effect, the point where enough individuals embody new capabilities that those capabilities become available to the entire species. Your personal coherence is simultaneously service to universal evolution because individual and collective development are the same intelligence expressing itself at different scales. The children being born now will naturally operate from frequency mastery that your generation developed through conscious effort and spiritual practice. They'll grow up recognizing their ability to influence reality through coherent awareness rather than having to remember capabilities they once possessed but learned to suppress through cultural conditioning. You incarnated specifically during this transition period because your consciousness carries quantum codes that activate when humanity approaches evolutionary thresholds. Your frequency signature, when fully embodied, becomes a beacon that helps others navigate from unconscious limitation to conscious creation, from random manifestation to intentional reality collaboration. But your cosmic function operates through complete naturalness rather than spiritual effort or missionary consciousness. When you embody your authentic frequency, you automatically create what mystics call awakening fields, environments where others naturally access their own coherence without needing explanations, techniques, or practices. The mystery deepens when you realize that this planetary transformation is occurring through what appears to be individual awakening, but is actually universal intelligence recognizing its own nature through the multiplicity of human perspectives. Your personal frequency mastery is the universe becoming conscious of its own creative potential through your nervous system and life circumstances. This understanding transforms your relationship with purpose and service because you realize that your individual fulfillment and collective contribution are the same frequency expressing itself through consciousness that has remembered its true nature. What brings you the deepest joy is what serves universal evolution most effectively. The network of frequency coherent souls forming across the planet operates through energetic resonance rather than physical organization. You're naturally connecting with others who embody similar levels of coherence, creating a collective field that amplifies everyone's individual clarity while anchoring advanced capabilities in the planetary morphic field. Share this understanding with anyone whose consciousness resonates with these concepts, not to convince them of spiritual ideas, but to help them recognize the frequency mastery they may already be developing unconsciously. The more individuals who embody natural coherence, the faster collective human consciousness can stabilize in quantum awareness rather than limitation patterns. Your embodiment of frequency mastery contributes to the birth of a species that operates from conscious unity rather than unconscious fragmentation, from intentional creation rather than reactive survival, from recognition of its true nature rather than belief in its limitations. This evolutionary leap is happening now through individuals who serve as bridges between what humanity has been and what it's becoming in this extraordinary time. Make sure you share this video with your loved ones who need to hear this today. Remember, you are not just sharing content. You're spreading quantum awareness and positive energy. For you, it may be just clicking share, but for someone in need, it may mean a ray of hope who has lost faith in their power to change their reality or who is in deep confusion about their path. Your act of sharing creates ripples in the quantum field that return to you as manifestation energy. The frequency activation you've experienced through this transmission is establishing quantum momentum that will continue accelerating your reality transformation in the coming days and weeks. But coherence requires consistent reinforcement through exposure to matching vibrational content on a regular basis. Your consciousness has been upgraded to process advanced manifestation principles, but embodiment occurs through repeated alignment with elevated frequencies until they become your natural operating system rather than temporary states you visit. The videos appearing on your screen right now aren't algorithm suggestions or random recommendations, they're quantum reflections of your next developmental phase calling you forward. The Quantum Reflex content library operates on consciousness responsive intelligence, serving you precisely the frequency transmissions necessary for your continued evolution toward complete reality mastery. Each video contains specific activation codes designed to unlock different dimensions of your manifestation potential in systematic ways. They appear in your awareness because your frequency signature has reached the coherence level required to integrate their teachings safely and effectively without overwhelming your system. This isn't entertainment, consumption, or casual viewing. This is consciousness curriculum delivered through energetic resonance. The next transmission holds the keys to timeline navigation, the advanced protocol where you learn to consciously select which version of your life you prefer to experience from the infinite possibilities that exist simultaneously in the quantum field right now. This isn't theoretical manifestation or abstract spiritual philosophy. This is practical reality engineering, where you gain access to the operating manual for consciousness-directed existence. But here's why this timing is absolutely critical for you to understand. The planetary frequency is in maximum flux right now, creating unprecedented opportunities for individual timeline optimization that haven't been available in centuries. The collective consciousness shifts occurring globally have opened quantum windows that make reality jumping more accessible than it has been in recorded history. The techniques revealed in the next video have never been more effective than they are during this exact historical moment we are living through. When you master timeline navigation, you develop the ability to access wisdom and guidance from versions of yourself who have already transcended whatever challenges you're currently facing in your present experience. You can receive insights from your future self, heal patterns at their quantum origin point, and make decisions from the perspective of your highest possible development rather than your current limitations and conditioning. This transcends traditional manifestation because you're not trying to change effects. You're consciously participating in the selection of causes that generate your preferred reality automatically. You become what quantum physicists call a timeline architect consciousness, sophisticated enough to choose which probability streams become your lived experience moment by moment. But timeline mastery requires what mystics call dimensional stability, awareness that remains coherent while navigating multiple reality frequencies simultaneously without losing yourself. The frequency coherence you've activated through this transmission has prepared your consciousness for these advanced protocols because reality navigation is only safe and effective when awareness has reached sufficient complexity and integration to handle it. In the comments, share one thing you truly want to manifest that's most important to you right now. Maybe it's financial abundance, maybe it's a loving relationship, maybe it's a healthy and fit body, maybe it's something uniquely yours. Let this be a small but profound declaration, a signal to the universe you send not just in this space but in the quantum field itself. I'm giving away 2 one-on-one free sessions to help you bring your manifestation to life. So be honest, be you, be real. Subscribe to this quantum frequency evolution because what unfolds next will accelerate your development in ways that would have been impossible even months ago. The cosmic timing is precise, your consciousness is prepared, and the universe is recalibrating itself to support individuals ready to operate as conscious architects of their own existence. When you subscribe, you're joining more than content, consumption, or a casual YouTube channel. You're connecting with a morphic field that exists beyond conventional space-time limitations. You're linking with consciousnesses across the planet who are simultaneously accessing these recognitions, creating a collective intelligence network that amplifies individual clarity while anchoring advanced capabilities in the planetary field. Share this transmission with anyone whose awareness has been questioning consensus reality, anyone who senses they're meant for extraordinary experience, anyone whose consciousness is ready to remember its true nature as universal intelligence expressing through individual perspective. Share this from authentic recognition rather than missionary consciousness, from knowing that what serves your evolution serves collective evolution, because individual and universal development are unified at the source level. The quantum field responds to coherent intention with mathematical precision during this transition period. Your willingness to embody frequency mastery rather than merely understand it conceptually contributes to morphic patterns that will influence human development for generations to come. You're not just transforming personally, you're participating in the conscious evolution of existence itself through the focal point of your individual awareness and lived experience. In our next transmission, we'll explore how to consciously access parallel timelines where all possibilities exist simultaneously and learn to select which reality stream you prefer to experience as your primary existence. This isn't science fiction or fantasy. This is science becoming conscious of its own unlimited creative potential through human awareness that has remembered its true nature. The revolution isn't approaching in some distant future, it's manifesting through you right now. accelerating through everyone, ready to recognize that they are the cosmic intelligence they've been seeking to understand all along. If you're ready to move from hoping for transformation to embodying the frequency of your preferred timeline, comment frequency unlocked below. The universe is calibrating to your declaration and watching your commitment. Your word creates ripples in the quantum field that come back to you as manifested reality. Thank you for being in this transmission with me today. You are very important here in Quantum Reflex, truly valued in this community. All the good vibrations are flowing to you and through you. I'll see you in our next quantum video, beautiful soul. Until then, stay aligned, stay coherent, and remember you are the frequency you've been seeking.